There's one commodity we all have that is more important than money, education, power, and even Instagram followers. That commodity is your image, reputation, or what we sometimes call your face. You lose that, and you might find some of the other commodities going by the wayside.
You accept my apology?
See, it's too late for that.
Look at the recent example of Kanye West, aka Ye. West put his reputation in freefall with a variety of antics, including taking the microphone away from Taylor Swift after she won an award at the VMAs, suggesting slavery as a choice.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice.
Getting arrested for assaulting a photographer, sharing a video of him urinating on one of his Grammy Awards, wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt to a fashion show, suggesting George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose, and more recently for his anti-Semitic comments where he said, "When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people," and his tweeting of an image of a swastika intertwined with a Star of David. Because of these outrageous behaviors, West has reportedly lost over $1 billion, some even estimate $2 billion. And the long-term impact on his music career still remains to be seen, although streams of his most popular songs on Apple Music and Spotify seem to be plummeting. Clearly, reputation is critical in the public sphere, as it enables people to generate revenue. College athletes are now making money from what we call NIL, or name, image, and likeness. They need to be careful with that image or they'll have short careers. Reputation is also critical in more private contexts, such as our interpersonal relationships with friends, family, and coworkers.
You just said that you want me to help you do the dishes.
I want you to want to do the dishes.
Why would I want to do dishes?
There's a great movie, well, not that great of a movie, from 1970 called Love Story with Ally McGraw and Ryan O'Neal, where there's this famous line.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
Even though it was listed as the number 13 greatest line in movie history by the American Film Institute, I've always thought it was pretty stupid. We all know that being in a relationship means always having to apologize, even at times when maybe you didn't think you did anything wrong. It's a way that we preserve relationships and keep them going. Image repair theory was developed by William Benoit in 1995 and established the need for understanding how people go about fixing their reputations when they are under attack. As communication people, we're primarily interested in messages, so we want to understand how people use language to repair damage after a big scandal. Benoit offers 14 key strategies for repairing image. We often call it apologia, but keep in mind that we're not just talking about apologies where someone takes responsibility.
I can only say I'm sorry so many times.
Let's say it again anyway.
Sorry.
We're talking about a range of strategies, with some admitting their role in the harmful act and some not. Let's run through them with a few real-world examples so you understand how they work. First up is the strategy of denial. This basically involves saying, "I didn't do what you're suggesting I did."
I didn't kill my wife. I don't care.
One example of this is American Olympic runner Shelby Houlihan, who tested positive for the banned substance nandrolone, which is a testosterone hormone. She vehemently denied ever taking performance-enhancing drugs of any kind.
I did everything I could to prove my innocence. I passed a polygraph test. I had my hair sampled by one of the world's foremost toxicologists.
Another example is former Senator Larry Craig, who was accused of propositioning another male in an adjacent stall at the airport by trying to play footsies with him. Apart from saying he merely had a wide stance while using the toilet, he denied doing anything criminal.
I did nothing wrong at the Minneapolis airport.
Next, we have the strategy of shifting responsibility. With this strategy, people attempt to argue that someone else besides themselves is to blame for a harmful act.
Whose fault was it, girls?
Her fault. Her fault. Her fault.
An example of this is seen in actress Winona Ryder's statements after she was caught shoplifting $5,500 worth of designer clothes and accessories from Saks Fifth Avenue. Ryder was a particularly big star in the 80s and 90s after being in films like Lucas, Heathers, Beetlejuice, and Edward Scissorhands. After being arrested for stealing the items, her response was, My director instructed me to shoplift for a role I was preparing for. Another image repair strategy is provocation, which is where someone argues they were pushed into doing it. One example is French World Cup competitor Zinedine Zidane, who headbutted an Italian player.
He's saying some more.
Claiming his opponent said some obscene things about his mom and his sister, and as a man, he acted appropriately. Another example of provocation occurred when Seinfeld actor Michael Richards lost his temper on a comedy club stage after being heckled by some members of the crowd. After lashing out and calling the audience members racist names, he defended himself later by saying he was provoked.
I was at a comedy club trying to do my act, and I got heckled, and I took it badly and went into a rage.
Next is the strategy of defeasibility, which is where people blame external circumstances for their failures.
You were this great legendary thing, and yet he gains.
Well, I'm killing 3 people, and he got on himself.
These aren't the same as shifting blame because they are usually non-human elements such as a lack of knowledge or control over a situation. Back in 2002, legendary pop star Michael Jackson thought it would be funny to put a blanket over the head of a baby and dangle the baby over the balcony of an upper-level hotel room in Berlin while fans below were watching. His response to the intense criticism he faced was, "I got caught up in the excitement of the moment." Here, he's blaming circumstances for his lapse in judgment. Another very common image repair strategy is accident, wherein the accused individual claims they didn't mean to do it. For example, Texas Congressional Representative Dick Armey referred to one of his gay colleagues, Barney Frank, as Barney, and insert derogatory term here for gay people that starts with the letter F. I refuse to say that term even in quoting. The media reported the mistake, and a firestorm of criticism emerged. Armey apologized on the floor of the House of Representatives and claimed it was an accident.
This morning, I mispronounced the name of my friend and colleague, Barney Frank.
Closely related to the strategy of accident is good intentions. This strategy involves arguing that you meant to do well, but it just didn't work out.
I assure you I had no intention of being either harsh or cruel in my treatment of the soldier in question.
Since I already brought up Kanye West, let's use him again to illustrate this strategy. Days after grabbing the microphone away from Taylor Swift at the Video Music Awards, he tweeted an apology in which he said, "Even in that moment, I was only trying to do good, but people don't always need my help." Another example of good intentions occurred when Senator Ted Cruz faced criticism for taking his family on vacation to Cancun while his constituents in Texas faced freezing conditions and power outages. Here's his response indicating he meant well, even though he would acknowledge later it was a mistake.
What was I thinking? I was trying to take care of my family. I was trying to take care of my kids.
Another common image repair strategy is called bolstering.
Yeah, you're right. I talk too much. I also listen too much.
With this strategy, the accused person or organization discusses their positive traits to offset negative perceptions. These traits usually have nothing to do with whatever scandal they're embroiled in. They just mention all the great things they've done in their life up to that point to counterbalance the negativity. A great example of this strategy occurred when a video was released of Dominos Pizza employees putting nasal mucus on the food. Obviously, people were disgusted by this, and the CEO of Domino's released a video addressing the scandal.
We take tremendous pride in crafting delicious food that they deliver to you every day.
Another strategy for repairing image is the strategy of minimization. This involves arguing that the act wasn't as bad or as harmful as it might first appear. A famous example of this is when Exxon's oil tanker, the Valdez, spilled 10.8 million gallons of crude oil into the Prince William Sound in Alaska. The devastation from this was tremendous, yet Exxon representatives released a statement that included the line, "We do not expect major environmental damage as a result of the spill." A second example of minimization was used by well-known music producer and artist Dr. Dre. After the release of the film Straight Outta Compton, which documents part of Dr. Dre's career with NWA, journalist Dee Barnes wrote a scathing op-ed in which she detailed a traumatic experience with Dr. Dre at a nightclub, saying he severely beat her, stomping on her fingers and throwing her down a flight of stairs. When asked about the incident in an interview with Rolling Stone magazine, Dr. Dre said, "Besides, it ain't no big thing. I just threw her through a door." A strategy that is sometimes more difficult for people to understand is that of differentiation. This occurs when a person attempts to distinguish the act from other similar but less desirable action. One of my favorite examples of differentiation occurred when NBA player Kevin Garnett was playing for the Boston Celtics. Garnett was a notorious trash talker, and after a Celtics victory over the Detroit Pistons, Pistons player Charlie Villanueva tweeted out that Garnett had called him a cancer patient because of the hair loss he had experienced from suffering from alopecia areata. He issued a defense clarifying that he said something else that was kind of mean, but not as terrible as what everyone thought.
KG later released a statement saying he actually told his Detroit rival he was, quote, cancerous to your team and your league.
Another strategy for repairing image is called transcendence. This one involves placing the harmful act in a more positive context. An example of transcendence can be seen in a speech given by former Vice President of the United States, Dan Quayle, who faced heavy criticism after he blasted the popular TV show Murphy Brown for glorifying single mothers raising children. Here's Quayle talking about the show.
Mocking the importance of fathers by bearing a child alone and calling it just another lifestyle choice.
People were upset about what he said, and in his own defense, he doubled down in using transcendence to suggest that basically him taking a strong stance on this was good for the values of American culture. In his autobiography titled Standing Firm, he said, "It is time we put our children first. Our families and our nation depend on it." Attacking the accuser is another image repair strategy. With this one, the accused individual criticizes those making the attack. In one instance, YouTube celebrity Laura Lee was in hot water after suggesting that Black people could run from the police faster if they pulled their pants up, and in telling a joke that Asian people could be blindfolded with dental floss. In her apology video posted to her channel, Lee attacked her accusers by suggesting they had gone too far.
They attacked a child. My 14-year-old niece attacked her, and I asked you guys, please, just let this be me. Let this be about me. It's not about my family. It's about me.
Another image repair strategy is compensation. With this one, the person accused offers a payoff to victims in order to offset negative perception.
Pay that man his money.
One example of this is when the U.S. Navy ship, the U.S. Greenville, collided with a Japanese trawler, killing 9 people. The Navy offered to pay $60 million to bring up the remains of the victims and $13.9 additional million for damages to the boat. A more direct way of addressing wrongdoing is the strategy of corrective action, where the accused person tries to directly rectify the past damage or to prevent its reoccurrence.
I promise, from now on, everything will be different.
One company that engaged in corrective action was Toyota, which after intense investigation by the Los Angeles Times and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, admitted that the gas pedals in several of their models were found to be defective, leading to several fatalities. Jim Lentz, the then president and chief operating officer of Toyota, posted a video outlining the steps his company would take to correct the problem.
In fact, many of our dealers will have extended hours, and some will remain open 24 hours a day to get this job done.
The last and arguably most important image repair strategy is mortification. This is where the accused individual or organization admits responsibility for the harm caused.
Did you order the code red? Right, I did!
Professor Matt Barton and I published an article in 2019 where we argue that there are a variety of ways people employ mortification specifically. We argue there are nuances to the art of using mortification, and some people just do it better than others. Some will say they are deeply ashamed for what they did and express that with appropriate sincerity.
I'm sorry, and I don't deserve or expect your forgiveness.
Whereas others will say things like, I regret that this incident occurred, which doesn't take full responsibility.
What occurred was unintentional, completely regrettable, and I apologize if you guys are offended.
One example of a mortification where somebody accepts responsibility is professional golfer Tiger Woods, who apologized following revelations that he engaged in an extramarital affair.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior
I engaged in.
Okay, those are the primary image repair or apologia strategies. I hope you'll look for them each time you see people in the public sphere attempting to wiggle their way out of various scandals or embarrassing mistakes.
What did they tell me to say here?
Knowing the possible rhetorical strategies available and having a good sense of the context will help you make your own judgments about whether they were effective or ineffective in repairing the damage.